Okay, this is the Harmony 650 remote I'm using, and you can see the number pads here, the DVR controls here, the directional controls, volume, mute, back, and up and down on channels which don't work. And then I have in there menu, info, exit, and guide, and then colored buttons. And then at the top I have a power button and watch TV, which is the one right here. So what I do is to start up my system as it stands now, where I have the Sling Player app in Amazon, and I also have the Flirk programmed to have some of the functions working from your setup and from some of the things we've done recently. I'm able to have some activity. So to start up my TV, I press power and then watch TV, and that brings up the Flirk media player and the television set. That's all it's on that watch TV mode. So you can see it brings up the Sling player. I'm trying to get it in focus here for you, best I can. Brings up the Sling player, and you can see connect and settings and help. So I can press OK, and that starts to locate my television at my remote location back in Florida, and it brings up the menu that you see across the screen. I'm going to turn this camera sideways so you can see it better. Okay, so across the top you see a menu bar, arrow, a crisscross thing, and then a number pad and miscellaneous. So if you look at the bottom, you can see this is part of the Sling Player app. Across the bottom it says DVR, which is grayed out, the guide, which does not work. I have to keep pressing the menu button, hold on. Quality, zoom, auto, sources, and disconnect. And up top, as you scroll across the ones at the top, you'll see other things at the bottom that are able to be controlled through the Amazon remote with the Sling Player, because that's how you utilize it. So if I wanted to go fast forward on something, I'd go down here and hit fast forward and hit enter or whatever. And then if I go back to the top, you have these menus that allow you to go left, right, up, down, which is basically directional control. And then for some reason they decided to put record right there. I don't know why, but it seems like an odd place for it. It seems like it would be in the DVR, but anyway. And then above that, there's the number pad, which basically, the number pad, which allows you to enter numbers there and do that type of thing. And then miscellaneous, and enter a channel, and then go to that channel by hitting enter. Then you have the miscellaneous, which has last channel, which is, like going back to the previous channel, power on and off, stop, channel up, channel down. I'm not sure the difference between that stop and the stop that is on this particular page. But anyway, this is how Sling Player makes their app up. And so if I go back to miscellaneous again, then you see channel up, channel down, setup, and back. So my contention is that all of these functions are in the Sling Player app, and they're able to be used with the Amazon remote. However, I'm not able to get the guide and that type of thing. So they have something down here called setup. And when I select setup, it allows me to go to my channel guide, which is sort of like a guide, but not really. What it does, it pulls up the list of channels. And you can see the TV is started in the upper corner on the last channel that I left it on. So right now you also notice that the picture is a little fuzzy. So I can go to the beginning at where the main menu is. I can come down, select on quality, and do all that type of thing and set up a higher quality picture, which it starts up every time. So that part of it, I can do with the Amazon remote. But so now I'm back to where the channel lineup is. but that's not really a guide. That's just a channel lineup. So in order to get the channel guide, I don't know how to do that. It won't do it on this particular setup with Sling Player app, because as you remember, I'll pull up those menus. You can see them again. I'm pressing the Amazon remote here for menu, and every time I press it, you can see it'll toggle the menus on and off. Okay, so anytime I want to get something I need, I can press the Amazon remote, but then I have to have two remotes to do all this kind of stuff. So then anyway, from there, you can see that I have all the channels lined up, but I don't have guide, because if I go down here to guide and I hit enter, it doesn't come up. It says the word guide over here in the right corner. I'll do that again. Let me go back to that. Go back down to guide. I'll hit guide, and you can see it pops up and says guide. Okay, but it's not going to a TV guide. It just stops right there. So I don't understand why it's not going to the guide. But so the only thing I can do then is go to the other features that I have, which are, if I go cursor right, I can get to my DVR, which has scheduled recordings and recordings I've already made. I can get to video on demand, which is this page, VOD. And all these things are part of the Sling Player app, but you're looking at my cable box setup. So as I go around this sort of merry-go-round of information by pressing cursor right and that type of thing, I can get to searching, I can get to other things like favorites, I can get to my channel guide, but the channel list, but not a channel guide. Then I can get to pay-per-view and all this other stuff. So this is all really manipulating around on the cable box, basically, all these things. So to get out of this, I have to press, I can't, there's no way out of it from my Harmony remote. So I have to go with the last one, which I said it was setup, and go down to setup and hit that once, and it allows it to go back to the screen it was on, and then I hit setup again, and it goes back to the live picture on the television. So you see that's there, the menu's there, and now I can toggle this menu off. Okay, so now we're looking at live TV, and I could do a lot of those features with the Harmony remote, where I can navigate around the directional pad and hit OK. I can press info and guide and menu, but I'm not getting any response out of exit or guide on that. So what is working on the Harmony remote is the number pad down here, the mute button here, the volume up and down, which is controlling the TV, of course, and then this is when I press this, I had this program to do the same thing that menu does. So it was sort of like, if I change channels right now, I can go to, I need 4 hands here to do this. So let me, hold on a second, let me enter a number. And I've entered the number 945, then I press OK. And you can see, all right, it didn't do it.
It does. It will. Just be patient.
I pressed the wrong button. So anyway, I pressed the wrong button. So hold on. I need to go back to the 945 and I press OK. And now, why is it not taking? Hold on. I don't have enough hands. 945. Enter. 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 Anyway, I can't get it to do it right now. Okay. Okay, so now, finally I took the enter. I had the button is so tiny in the middle of this thing. It's so tiny that you end up hitting the number pads. I mean the directional pads. So anyway, I'm on the other channel. So now if I hit the back button or menu, that for some reason takes me back to the last channel. Takes me back to the channel I was on, which is the golf game that was showing there. So now I'm back at the golf game channel, even though the picture's not a golf right now. So it moves me around. I'm able to get around and do things with the Harmony remote for the most part, but I can't do channel up and down here. I can't do an actual last channel. I don't have a last channel command. So it turns out that by pressing menu here or here, I can go back to the last channel. So when I press that, you'll see it says menu, and that'll take it back to the last channel I was on, which is, I have to press it twice, I guess. I can't recall. And that should take me back to the other 945, which it does. So I'm on 945. So if I press menu twice again, I think it should take me back to the golf show that we had there. No, I guess it's different every time I do it. But anyway, menu once, and try it menu once, and I go back to the golf channel. So you can see that the menus that are part of the Amazon remote here are different. You know, the controller here is set up such that, hold on a second, let me some light here. The controller here is set up such that the directional pad is here, the enter is here. This is the menu. So when I press that, it brings up the menu for Sling Player, okay? And if I want to do any of those features, I can, do what I said. I can go back to setup. I can do channel up, channel down here, and all that. But I've got to use the Amazon remote to do all this. So what I was trying to do was get all of these features to be into the Harmony. And that's the problem, is that Sling Player Media Company doesn't have this thing programmed in a manner that allows you to use it for any other remote except their remote. And the only way I've got this to work is that you can see that I've got your Flirt device sitting on top of my Amazon box. And so what I'm literally doing is using the Flirt controls. So every time I press one of these commands, it's actually the Flirt that's doing the IR signal from this Fire TV all the way over the internet to my television in Florida, and causing it to change channels with its IR blaster that's in front of my DVR and cable box down in Florida. So I can pitch this menu, and I can go to last channel, and I did that with this ring, and then I can press enter here, press enter there, and that takes it to last channel. You can see the word last channel coming up. So it goes to the last channel. So it goes from the golf back to the 945. If I press it last channel again, of course, it goes back to the other channel that was up, which was the golfing thing right there. And so it appears that the programming of the Sling Player allows me to use the Flirt and control the Sling Player app through the Amazon remote. But I was trying to get the Harmony remote to do all this, so I'd only have to have one remote to deal with. So because when you go to this menu again, you notice the number pad. Oops, excuse me. The number pad up here. If I hit that, you can see that brings up all these numbers. So to get to another channel or change to a different channel, I have to enter the numbers here by scrolling across, picking like a 9 and a 2 and a 9, 0, and then I have to go over here and hit enter. It's really, and you can see it changing to that number, but it's really awkward to do it that way. Plus, It's just cumbersome to do it that way. So it's not, and there's that channel, 920. So it changes and does everything to control my cable box back in Florida. But those menus, they're only up for a short time. So a lot of times I'm halfway through doing something and I have to press this menu toggle button again to get the thing to come up so I can navigate. And entering channels and controlling the DVR, is not direct. As you can see, like I said, if you come down here, you can see guide is highlighted, but next to it where DVR is, it's not highlighted, and I can't even scroll into that box. It goes right back to the beginning. So you see, as I do it, I can't get it. So somehow the DVR piece of it is not there. I mean, I'm assuming that if I had DVR control, then I wouldn't have to do some of these other things by like going up here to setup. This is the only way I can get to the DVR, by going to this setup button. And then I have to scroll once it changes to the background always comes up to this channel list, and then I can go left a couple times. I can go take the menu down, take the Amazon menu off. See, the Amazon menu is on there and then off. I can turn it off. So if I let it go off and I go left a couple times, it puts me over to, let me go back. If I go left a couple of times or whatever, left or right, it gets me onto my DVR. So now I can see what's being recorded, what's been recorded, I should say. And I can go to this thing called Scheduler, which has me set up to record things and all that. So that's how the whole thing works. And it's just, there's no way to get to this other than going with the Amazon remote, which is all done through the FLIRC back to the, the commands are being entered on the FLIRC and on the Firebox. So the Fire TV is doing nothing really now except giving me directional control here and OK select here. And anything else I have to do, I have to push this button to get the menu to come back up, just like that. So those menus are really the software that I'm trying to get programmed onto the Harmony. Why can't I get these features? Because we know they're IR commands, because I'm able to do them through the FLIRC. However, they're not available for me to do them any other way. So that was my question all along, was I'm obviously sending IR commands to my cable box remote through the Sling Player app, but I can't program all of these functions into my into my Harmony remote. So it may be that some of them are never going to be able to be done, but I was hopeful that I could find a way to find what the IR commands are and have them entered like you did with keyboard strokes or something that allowed me to teach these commands to the FLIRC. And then when I wanted to use them on my Harmony, I could go to DVR by pressing one of the buttons for the DVR and all that. So my cable box remote, which I have with me, is set up with colors, just like the colors you see on this remote here. We got red, green, yellow, and blue. Well, blue is video on demand, green is channel guide, red is channel guide, yellow is DVR, and that kind of thing. So should I be able to program these buttons here to get them to do those functions, then this remote now becomes everything I want it to be, and it communicates directly without having to have any other remotes. So that's the question. How do we get there if we can ever get there? So I think you understand better what I'm doing and what's happening. The FLIRC is working for many things, even though we were trying to do it with keyboard strokes. I couldn't get it there, So it's kind of odd that it won't go any other way. Now, if I put a keyboard onto this, I would have to go back here to the back of the Firebox, and back here where I have my FLIRC connected in, I would need to unplug that and put in there the USB connection for my USB keyboard. When I enter the commands on the USB keyboard, as you know, many of those do not come up at all with what they say they're supposed to be. So I can send you another video on the keyboard usage if you want. But right now, I think this is enough to let you know what we're doing. So let me know if this is enough, and we can start from there. Thanks. Bye-bye.